Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. How's everyone doing today? Hey, what's going on, guys? Bitcoin currently trading at $90,615.60. We got some upset precious metal folk in the last stream, which is kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe, I think it was the last stream. It was whatever one. Yeah, it was the last stream. They don't like that I said that money's rotating out of precious metals into Bitcoin. But that makes for some good content. So Bitcoin 90,611 and 58 cents. Bitcoin dominance finding support right around 59.1, kind of front running that 59 level. We'll see if that continues to the downside. I left our liquidation points on here to illustrate Bitcoin's reluctance to move outside of this range. What's going on, Pickle Rick? And now that you guys have seen it, I'm going to update it. So let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. Hope you guys are having a sick weekend. We've got $90,803. Big news coming out of South America. I don't know if you guys saw. Apparently we just own Venezuela now. Oh no, it's not a war. Saeed, it is not a war. We literally have the president. 89,707. Somebody pointed out a while ago that this would be coordinated, and it kind of feels that way, honestly. 92,480. It seems, you know how I always joke whenever a project gets hacked, and then they're like, "Oh no, all the money was stolen, and we're just gonna walk away now." But somehow we have millions of dollars. That's usually, in my opinion, it looks like the dev just stole the money, blamed a hack, and then left. Like they made it look like a hack. 87,965. That's what I feel like Maduro did. It's like an exit scam where he's like, "Oh no, America stole me and they're prosecuting me in the United States of America now. Oh no." Meanwhile, he gets to keep all of his money probably. He basically hands power over to Donald Trump, and then whatever, political theater they do, they're like, "Oh, we dropped bombs in Venezuela and stuff." That's just my opinion. It's all alleged. None of this is proven. I'm just kind of, regurgitating garbage out of my throat, so don't mind me. What's going on? Reese, Philly, Pickle Rick, Saeed. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, this is where Bitcoin's liquidation points are. It looks good right now. The Venezuela situation is so interesting to me. Philly said Maduro was a very bad person. That's what I've heard. The videos of the people that live there and literally celebrating kind of showed me everything I needed to see. We got 20 minutes remaining until the daily close. ETH currently trading at $3,129.40. Slowly but surely working its way up to 31.50. Getting above... What do we want to get above? I guess getting above 32.50 is going to be a big deal. We got some resistance here, here, and here from 32.50. So that'll be a big one. I like that we held our support so far on this lower trend line. Does kind of make for a bear flag, but if we can break to the upside, that would invalidate everything there. We are overbought on the 4-hour time frame, so exercise caution there. Bitcoin, not quite. Money flows positive. We got a green dot of the momentum wave. Volume looks good. ETH volume also looks good here. Obviously, we got our Saturday weekend volume, but the price going up. Never trust a weekend pump. That's not always going to be true, but it's usually true majority of the time. So for now, we're going to remain cautious. I'm not just going to blindly, open along and then wait until Monday, Tuesday. That's how you get wrecked. But ETH looks awesome. Keep an eye on that overbought RSI. Money flow is still positive. We had a little negative flip for a brief moment just before New Year's. We have a red dot on the momentum wave pointing to the downside, so short-term downside could be in play. Solana's up 0.94% on the day, broke above the neckline. Look at this textbook. Broke above the neckline, retested, confirmed, and continued. Now, what's nice about this being so far down the road from that beginning of that pattern is our neckline and our actual breakout upper trend line are really close. So getting above that, what kind of a move is that? only 4 or 5%, which is nothing for Solana. So that's gonna be exciting to see that happen. Oh god, my head itches. My head itches under the hat. What do I do? Solana looks really good here. It is not quite overbought. It's very, very close. It might literally be just barely. But we'll keep an eye on it. The RSI continuously bouncing over the moving average, which is awesome. Green dot of the momentum wave and positive money flow. So the push higher remains intact. Total 3 up 0.76% on the day. Currently trading at 870.45 billion since we bottomed at 800 billion, which was my initial bounce guess, which so far has played out perfectly. We have added $70.44 billion to the total market cap, which is awesome. It's exactly what we want to see. Our 4-hour RSI is overbought, but we are continuing to trade above that moving average, positive money flow, and a red dot on the momentum wave point to the downside, which may have played out. That actually, red dot is right here at this red candle, so that might have played out on all the other charts that we pointed out on as well. ADA is down 1.29% on the day, broke above 38. Look at this. Also textbook. Struggled to get above 36. As soon as it broke, it just skyrocketed, got above 38, retested, confirmed support, continuation to the upside. RSI not quite overbought. We got positive money flow finally since Thursday. Green dot, confirmed green dot on market cipher, marking the Pico bottom, and a green dot on the momentum wave, which just turned into a red dot from this red candle. So that maybe played out, maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna go to the daily. Okay, so ADA will have a CME gap. Solana will also. All of these are gonna have CME gaps. ADA is gonna be higher. So far, Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol are gonna be lower. Let's actually look at these charts really quick. Yeah, Bitcoin looks great on the daily. I want to get back above this bad boy. It's gonna be a big deal. ETH also looks really good on the daily. RSI trading above the moving average, just cross bullish, money flow positive. Ooh, interesting. ETH actually flipped positive money flow before Bitcoin did. Solana's still waiting. Looks good though. Looks really good. Total 3. Nice. All right, let's go back down to the 4-hour. Get a little zoom action. Neck is down 0.16% on the day, struggling to break above this upper trend line, which was a previous lower trend line. Getting above that's going to be a big deal. Hopefully we can make it happen. So far, so good. RSI, not quite overbought. It was for a second. Came back down, touching right now. Are we going to get a bearish cross, or are we going to get a bounce off the moving average? Red dot on the momentum wave, point to the downside, and negative money flow. Midnight is currently trading up 5.47% at 0.092805. Get a break above this upper trend line would be nice. Unfortunately, I don't like the first move being the upwards move. If I'm bullish, I want it to break down first and then invalidate, because that's usually what we see. So if it breaks up first, it's going to sketch me out a little bit, and I'm going to assume that it's going to come back down. And it might not go down far, but it will, in my opinion, it's likely to still go down. But we'll see. We've been consolidating for a pretty decent amount of time since December 22nd. So let's see what a breakout entails. We got positive money flow on the 4-hour time frame, red dot pointing to the downside on market cipher, on our momentum wave, and our RSI is trading just above the moving average, looking good. XRP is up 0.53% on the day, currently trading at 201.75. Giovanni Fentez said, yo, how is everyone? Pretty dang good, Giovanni. How are you, my friend? Happy New Year, Happy Christmas, Merry New Year. XRP is up 0.52% on the day, currently trading at 201.74. We're above $2, which is exactly what I like to see. We got a nice support bounce off of 184, which held pretty consistently down here. 184 the whole time. Once we got that, we got bullish into the new year. We started skyrocketing, broke above 196, broke above $2. Seemingly, we'll call it rejected, 206. Got a support bounce at $2. We're at 201, like I said. Right now, getting above 206 is our next target, but we do have to keep in mind we are almost overbought on the 4-hour time frame. RSI trading above the moving average. Money flows positive. Red dot on the momentum wave, point to the downside. We'll see what happens in the short term. Philly said, this sort of looks like a 2021 mid-cycle crash, and we're possibly re-legging back up. I have seen a bunch of charts recently, and the one that sticks out to me most is actually the 2018-2019 fractal. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. The extended cycle theory is still my best bet. That's where I'm putting all my chips. And worst case scenario, I got to wait a little bit longer. Giovanni said, Happy New Year. It's good to hear. Overnights are killing me, but I'm grateful. Oh, yeah, I got to get that. Got to get that work, man. Got to get that fiat. The fiat mines are churning. I got my tea today. Cheers, guys. Happy Saturday. Ooh, that is hot. Let that cool down a little bit more. So yeah, XRP looks good. H-bar also looks really good. We do have a confirmed red dot on Market Cipher. Not just a red dot on the momentum wave. That is confirmed on Market Cipher. Last time we got that on H-bar was right here, and we went down quite a bit. Unfortunately, or fortunately for us, price-wise, it does look like it might be invalidating that, which is great. RSI trading right on top of the moving average, which I don't know if we've ever seen that. Money flow is still positive, so we want to get above 1248, and then we can start talking. Squeeze up 3.63% on the day. Reese said, you're drinking a cup of hot tea. Did I say? Oh, you said pee. Did I say pee? I definitely said tea. I saw this video. I guess there's a really big problem with people like peeing on the streets in the UK. Which, to that point, if they're not like being a creepy weirdo, I feel like you shouldn't get in trouble. Obviously, unless there's like someone, you know, visually like witnessing something that they shouldn't be witnessing. But if some dude just got to pee, let the dude pee. But he was so plastered. He was in like the median, and there was like two chicks that he was with holding him up. They're like holding him up facing away, and the guy's just like leaning forward, just peeing for like 5 minutes. I was like, jeez. It was crazy. That's why I try not to open up X on my on my stream. I always gotta open it up off window. Sweet looks really good. We got a break above 148. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. Break above 148, support bounce. Break above 154, break above 162, rejection at 169. Nice. Support at 162, continuation to the upside. We are overbought on the 4-hour time frame. Red dot on the momentum wave point to the downside. Money flows positive since January 1st. So looking good, looking good. Giovanni said, if a business only has the bathrooms for employees, they deserve to get peed on, right? Or if you have to buy something. They have, allegedly, they have like this new, I guess it's like an outdoor urinal, essentially. It's just like a little privacy room. Kind of like you'd see like a parking meter or like a lamppost just like on the sidewalk so people can go in there and pee in private. But like the bottom is like open so you can see their feet. So you, like people can't go in there and like do funny business, you know? Because so many people want to go screw around in the urinal. All right. Ondo up 1.02% on the day, currently trading at 42.77, looking good. We finally broke above 40 cents for Ondo. That was huge. We got a rejection around 43, support around 41, and we're about to break 43 again, which is huge. RSI looks great. Point to the upside, we are overbought. Getting nice support bounces over that moving average. Green dot in the momentum wave, point to the upside. Positive money flow. We do have a confirmed red dot way back here. I think that has since been invalidated since we crossed over that 40 cent mark. So we're looking good. Next stop, hopefully, I would like to see us. Let's extend these out. Hold on. Yeah, I think we're going to hit the upper trend line first before we hit the lower one. Yeah, let's get above these two lines and then we can start talking. It's kind of iffy. We might even be able to get away with one of these instead. 45. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's do a line at 45. 0.45. Let's get above that. Psychological. And then should be go time, man. Arrow down 0.99% on the day. Arrow had a nice little end of the week pump. Currently sitting at 56.06. This thing was all the way down to 40. It got a 20% pump. 20, 25, 40% pump. Whoa! JJ, no math good. Got a 40% pump, which is pretty sick. Currently sitting at 56.02. Let's see. That little teeny red candle was the resistance. This shows you how much volume we were missing. This is the volume returning. This is garbage. This is garbage. This is all garbage. This is what we want to see on a regular basis. This is what we need when the volume returns, even if it's negative volume. Good volume is what we want. Because you can trade good volume. Good volume birds momentum, and momentum is incredibly tradable, up or down. So Aerodrome looks great. I do like that it kind of wick rejected off 60, and we're kind of trying to find support around 55, 56. Let's get back above 60, or let's get above 60 in the first place, and then it's party time, honestly. 66 is probably going to be a big one as well with all this action right here. So we'll see what that entails, but the volume looks good. I'm so excited about the volume. It's probably annoying. Stellar up 1.14% on the day, currently trading at 22.16. Getting back above 25 is going to be a big deal for this. We got an inverse Mothman, I'm going to call it. And we got clear resistance probably at like 22.5. So getting above that is going to be a big deal. Volume looks great. RSI looks great. Our red dot's in the process of being invalidated at the moment. We had a red dot here, and we kind of did the same move right there. So we want to get above that and invalidate that. RSI looks good. We are not overbought at the moment. Red dot and momentum wave pointed to the downside. Money flow just flipped a green just now. Look at this. Within this 4-hour candle. As long as it closes like this, then we will have positive money flow. And that's what we want to see. Polkadot's down 1.71% on the day, currently trading at 212. Not much to say about Polkadot. There was a lot of alerts going out for Polkadot when it did start pumping. We're going to have some trouble right here at 225. Psychological level. We also had nice support there that is now resistance. So getting above that's going to be a big deal. As of right now, though, we're fighting to stay above $2. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. We do have a confirmed red dot on Market Cipher right at this Pico top. Let's hope that that does not play out. We also have this big fat wick indicative of some selling pressure, and that is, I think, called a tombstone doji or a spinning top doji. Don't quote me on that. It's a bad candle for upside. It's a good candle for downside. Derek said, "What up, JJ? What's going on, Derek? My mustache is out of control at the moment. You guys continue to see me just like try to fix it. It's not working." Fartcoin's up 6.8% on the day. Ooh, I like it when Fartcoin pumps. I don't know why. It just makes me happy. Because I know there's so many people that are like outraged that this exists and it's like as high of a market cap as it is. But that makes it even funnier in my brain. So we were struggling to get above 32.76. We'll call it like just 32 in general, actually. We got above that. We retested it as support. Now we're trying for 36.26 next. Still my lifelong goal to buy a house with Fartcoin. I think that would be hilarious. We do have a confirmed red dot on Market Cipher at this red candle, which is since in the process, hopefully, of being invalidated. We get a green dot of the momentum wave and positive money flow. RSI almost overbought, trading well above the moving average. We're in a good spot. Gas could use a little bit of help. Struggling a little bit. I want to see gas get back above 5 cents. That's my biggest thing. It's above 45 right now, which is a win. RSI looks good. It's got plenty of room for upside. Let's see if we can pull it off. Avalanche is up 1.37% on the day, currently trading at 14.01. Finally above this upper trend line of this descending channel. Let's get above $15 next. We're at $14 even right now. Closing above 14 for the day is going to be a big deal. Again, though, it's Saturday. Expect everything to kind of pull back. We have a come Monday, we have a confirmed red dot on Market Cipher, which is a little spooky. Confirmed red dot on Market Cipher at this big wick candle. The wick is indicative of some selling pressure. Volume could be a little bit better on Avalanche. I'm actually a little underwhelmed at this volume. But the rest of the chart looks great. Money flow's positive. We got a break above our trend line right here. This is a legacy trend line that goes all the way back to 2020. So it's a big deal getting back above that, in my opinion. Look at this. January 2020. Or December 2020. So it's kind of 2021. But December 2020, we got back above it finally. Looking good. I would not be surprised if we set up some kind of right shoulder, maybe. I actually wouldn't mind that. But we'll see what happens. As of right now, we are not overbought on the 4-hour RSI, but we did cross below the moving average. Money flows green. We do have a red dot on the momentum wave point to the downside. Let's see where we end up. Mr. Roberts said, hey, sup, nut tuggers. Hey, JJ, what's going on, Mr. Roberts? That Pulse player said all about them monad memes. We got a couple of monad meme folks in the chat. Chainlink down 0.23% on the day, currently trading at 1324. I want to see Chainlink get above 1339 next. It looks great, though. We have a confirmed red dot on Market Cipher back here right before the big fat red candle. Big fat red candle currently still in play. Can we invalidate it by closing above 1339? Hopefully. RSI looks good. Red dot on the momentum wave pointing to the downside, but we do have positive money flow. Let's see where it can take us. Monad up 5.47% on the day. This thing is shredding. Shredding. Currently trading at 0.02945. Looking good. Next up, probably 32, honestly. There's not a lot of resistance here. If so, it would have been down here around like 27. Right here, really no resistance at all. And once we get above 32, 32 is even thin resistance. Once we get above that, it is go time. Monad might go absolutely insane because there's not a lot of chart like price action to go off of, which also means blue sky breakout is a lot closer than most coins. We do have a confirmed red dot on Market Cipher pointing to the downside, which I think is going to be invalidated with this 4-hour close. Red dot on the momentum wave pointing to the downside as well. And positive money flow. RSI is overbought, but that is not the end of the world. Let's see where it takes us. Pengu is up 4.6%. Ooh, Pengu looks really good here too. 0.011362 on the price. Getting above 11.5. It's going to be a big one. So let's see what that entails. Confirmed green dot on Market Cipher, followed by a confirmed red dot, which is currently being invalidated. All right, let's see. Bitcoin daily close coming up. Silver up 1.7% still. Bitcoin 90,639 and 69 cents. What do you guys say? Daily close contest? Let's do it. 32 seconds until you guys can start guessing. Let's see. I gotta get my thing open. Oops. All right. Ladies and gentlemen. First daily close contest of the new year. 3, 2, 1. Get your guesses in for the daily close contest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to change that ranking. Is going to be zeroed out for everyone. Kind of crazy to think about, honestly. So ignore this. Actually, I can shut it off. Current rankings are 0 for everyone. If anyone is new here and you guys are unfamiliar, basically trying to guess what you think the daily close price is going to be for Bitcoin on the Binance USDT chart. I guess for the time being, I can make this bigger. Is that stupid? Let's just keep it the same for now. The goal is to guess the price. If you guess all 7 digits, you win $300. If you only guess the first 5, you win $20. If you don't guess either of those, but you are closest without going over, you win bragging rights. We've got Derek, HQZ, coming in with a 9888. We've got That Pulse Player, coming in with 9778. What's going on here? We've got Giovanni Fontes coming in with 9600. We've got Tufik coming in with 9587. We've got Mr. Roberts coming in with 90,000 flat. Okay. All right. We've got 2 minutes and 46 seconds remaining on the clock for you guys to get your guesses in for the daily close contest. If you submitted your guess and you do not see it on the chart yet, then I might not have seen it myself, which means YouTube might have filtered it out. Saeed coming in with 98.80. Oh, that's pretty dang. You guys are all bunched up right there. That's interesting. Okay. Let's see. Whoopsie. Anybody else? Anybody at all for the daily close contest? You know what you guys got? Let's see if there's auto updates. Aha, it did. Very cool. All right, you guys got 1 minute and 33 seconds remaining on the clock to get your guesses in for the daily close contest. Current rankings are 0. Mr. Tyler was the winner of 2025. I need to confirm his address to send him his prize. Pretty stoked about it. There might be a secondary prize for him later on. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a prize for second place too, just because. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. Bitcoin $90,632.32. Billy said, let's see, we got Billy 90555. Got you, Philly. And let's add in the last 5, like 50 cents or 5 cents. I got 50555. Oh, 90555. Why did I say 5? Alright, that's what you get for now. Guys, you got 18 seconds remaining on the clock. Get your guesses in for the daily close contest. Chance for you to win up to $300 every single day. It's a ton of fun. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for participating in the daily close contest. Let's get these bad boys up on the board. We've got 9888 from Derek. All right, where is that? Okay, there's a sound line. Good. Then we've got Saeed Quadri coming in with 9880. And then we've got 9778 with that pulse plan. And then we've got Giovanni Fontes with 9600. And then we've got 9587 with Tufik. And then we've got Philly Driver with 9555. 9555. And last but not least, we've got 90,000 even with Mr. Robbers. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Bitcoin currently trading at $90,628.01. Current rankings for the daily close contest in 2026 is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and Philly with 0, Mr. Robbers with 0, Said with 0, Rick with 0, Derek with 0, That Pulse Player with 0, Tufik with 0, Giovanni Fontes with 0, Tom Selleck Scoped with 0, Tyler with 0. Everybody has 0. He said JJ. This has been your gayest stream this entire year. All right, Bitcoin, $90,628 even. So far, Giovanni Fontes is in the lead. He has maintained his lead. He has by far the biggest gap on the board besides Derek HQZ, whose gap technically goes to infinity. Saeed said, your stream is too unique and awesome with this closing contest. Thank you. I appreciate that. $90,628. We've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Happy Saturday, guys. Make sure you spread the love, spread the cheer, smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Share the stream with your like-minded friends and family. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before my birthday, which is in April. Oh, that's good. Perfect temperature. There's like one hair on my mustache that's killing me today. It is killing me. Bitcoin up 0.7% on the day, still trading at $90,628. Still trading in Giovanni Fontes's gap. We got a complete flat line. Complete flat line on the price. 90,628. Derek said, it reminds me of the famous line from Whose Line Is It Anyway? Tishu said, yo, what was Satoshi right about? Also, look at STX, not bad. Satoshi was right about the money printing, the modern monetary system being a sham. $90,628 and 1 penny. Today, guys, by the way, in case you were not aware, today, 17 years ago today, Satoshi minted the first, or mined the first Bitcoin block, which is pretty sick. So happy birthday, Bitcoin. Very cool. We've got almost less than 1 minute. Right now we've got 60 seconds remaining on the clock for the daily close contest. Bitcoin, $90,628 even. Giovanni Fontes currently in the lead with his guess of $90,600 even. Philly said 2026 will be the year of the Philly. Derek said, where everything is made up and the points don't matter. Exactly. Exactly. $90,628. 36 seconds remaining on the clock. I don't know if I've ever seen this much flat on the chart just before the close. Look at this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 candles right here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on candle number 5 right now. Are we going to close this flat? Very interesting. 18 seconds remaining on the clock. Giovanni Fontes still in the lead with his guess of 90,600. It's anyone's game. Actually, Bitcoin is the real winner. 7 seconds remaining. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. The first winner of 2026, Mr. Giovanni Fontes. Bitcoin daily close price $90,628 and 1 penny. $90,628 and 1 penny. $90,628 and 1 penny. Congratulations, Giovanni Fontes, on your victory, ladies and gentlemen. Spam the bananas in the chat for our winner. Very cool. Giovanni Fontes with a guess of 90,600. Very cool. Congratulations, my friend. All right, let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. Get a little zoom out action. Giovanni is the first winner, ringing in the new year and Bitcoin's birthday. Bitcoin is 17 years old today, and it just closed for the first time in 2026 above 90,000. Is that true? Nope, I made that up. I made that up, but it sounded cool. For the first time on a Saturday in 2026, above 90,000. Congratulations, Giovanni Fontes, on your victory, ladies and gentlemen. Yay! Actually, wait, hold on. Let me undo that really quick. I have a thing. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, I F6 and F7. Ready? Ready? Dude, I was so stoked to use. Congratulations, Giovanni Fontes, on your victory. Let's get some bananas in the chat. And we see the perfect entry. The perfect entry portfolio? Yes, we can. Let me get everything sorted. We've got hang on. All right, I have to start a new Google Doc. This is weird. Giovanni Fontes. Congratulations, my friend. All right, winner's Google Doc has been populated. Uno momento, por favor. Okay. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, can I get a drum roll, please? The winner of today's daily close contest with a guess of 90,600 and an actual Bitcoin daily close of $90,628.01 on January 3rd, 2026. Bitcoin's 17th birthday. Mr. Giovanni Fontes' prize is an All-American hoagie. Congratulations, Giovanni Fontes, on your victory. Ladies and gentlemen, spam the bananas in the chat for our winner. Giovanni, feel free to split this bad boy up. You can cut it with a knife. You can rip it apart with your hands. You can eat maybe like the lettuce out and then leave the rest of the stuff inside of it and throw it at your neighbor. Whatever you do, you are legally obligated to remove it from the premises. Congratulations once again on your victory. Enjoy. Guys, Bitcoin's getting a little bit pumpy here after that daily close. What a lovely day. We got 17 people watching. Don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. We like the Bitcoin pump. We like hoagies. We like $90,920 Bitcoin. That looks very nice. I also like seeing green immediately after the close. It shows you where the money's going. Joe Adventure said it's green. What? A soundboard. Might have missed it. Was in Walmart. It is what it is. Walmart was underwhelming for me this year, especially Christmas shopping. I was kind of a little bummed out. I should have went to Meijer. Meijer is a oh, is my webcam off? Has my webcam been off this whole time? What happened? Billy said, JJ, for God's sake, man. It's near frickin' year. Create some new prizes. What's I don't understand. All American hoagie's delicious, Philly. Don't be mad because you didn't win. All right. Bitcoin. 89, nope, 90, 930. Walmart, where most of middle America was conceived. Ew. That's disgusting. Bitcoin dominance, 59.23. I'm not doing good with numbers at the moment. Let's see. We were at silver. Still looking just as good as it looked yesterday because it stopped trading. Gold. Gold is interesting to me because it did get above 43.81, but it immediately lost that. And it, in doing so, it lost 43.50 as well. Currently sitting at 43.31. Are we going to have to come all the way back down to 42.50, or are we actually going to break above and support and continue above 43.81 is the question. DXY getting a little pumpy here. Probably also going to continue to pump with all of this oil news coming out of Venezuela. That does seem to be quite bullish for the United States GDP. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee, still up 3.43% since yesterday. Still looking good. We're going to see come Monday if we do end up having to retrace all the way down to 130, or if we can continue up from here. NASDAQ could do with a little bit of assistance. S&P. S&P actually looks decent. We got a plan here for a potential bounce if we are going to obey the fractal. If not, then we'll have to watch and see what happens. Bitcoin really pumping here. Congratulations, Giovanni, once again on your victory. Why are we exploding to the upside is the question. Happy birthday, Bitcoin. 17-year-old Bitcoin. Very cool. Webcam being down was a prize for all of us. Cheers, guys. Happy Saturday. Delicious. All right. I don't really want to leave the Pumpy Bitcoin chart. I love Pumpy Bitcoin chart. It's like my favorite chart. I also would smash a hoagie right now, dude. Oh my gosh, I could totally go for a hoagie. But we got a lot of news to go over. There's a lot of news to go over today with the Venezuela stuff. JY's Venture said, it's the complacency shoulder Jordan is calling for. Okay. We'll see what happens. I'm liking the pump, though, regardless. 91,466. But we are pumping because we get access to oil. That's the news. Exactly. And it's a lot of oil. It's like half of our national debt, isn't it? New prizes should be explicit images. Short-term memory failed again. For who? For who? All right. New segment. I guess let me know if we start pumping like crazy. Let me know in the chat. And I'll switch back over. Joe Reservoir said, but some people say this will probably be a relief rally. Then we enter a bear market. Saeed said it's the birthday on 3rd January or 4th because in India 4th has started. It is January 3rd is Bitcoin's 17th birthday. So Bitcoin in India is 17 years and 1 day old. So very cool. Let's see, news segment. Similarities to the bottom in March for Bitcoin are also now building. We have 3-day bullish divergence developing in similar zones. The result last time was a full reversal and price discovery, boring until it's not. This is literally my fractal that I have on the Bitcoin chart. Tishu said, what do you think? I mean, if it's short-term memory, then I would forget anyways. So technically, if you're referencing something that I forgot, then I wouldn't remember. We got bullish div on the 3-day chart on the Bitcoin from March, April, May, bottom to today, right now. And it looks really good, actually. So we'll see what happens with that. This cracked me up. Bold. Great comic strips, by the way. If you're not following him on X, highly recommend. He posted this image and said, hey, Grok, remove the scam cryptocurrency from this image. And then it removed Solana, which is hilarious. And then he was like, whoa. And then somebody else said, remove every cryptocurrency from this image except the one that is most likely to perform the best in 2026. And it removed everything except for ADA. which made me very happy. It was a good, I got a good chuckle out of that for sure. We got the expansion of the Fed balance sheet has begun. A nice little pumperoonie at the bottom right here. Very cool. It's very much the meme face where the chart's going down for forever, and then you get that little bit of green, and everyone's like, eh. That's the Fed balance sheet right now. Venezuela has the world's largest oil reserves. Oil is $57, 57 times 304 billion. I did that math earlier. Hold on, let me see if I can find it again. Is approximately $17 trillion? Yeah, million, billion, trillion. $17.328 trillion, which is a lot of money. That's a lot of money, guys. This one cracked me up. Me and my friends trying to figure out if we should be getting ready for World War III, AI takeover, economic collapse, or all of the above. Tisha said, I asked for a chart. You don't have to look at it if you don't want, care, or forget, but it looks good, though. I already looked at it. What chart? Anonymous posted, so this is what I was referencing earlier. Derek said, which Trump would storm the Federal Reserve next? Right. This is what I was talking about earlier. Anonymous posted this on November 7th. Maduro likely already has purchased property in Dubai to retire. He'll hand over oil rights contracts to the U.S. Resource Corp oligarchs and billions to the Trump family laundered through third parties. The threat of invasion is basically a shakedown to ensure he provides more loot. If anything does get bombed in Venezuela, it'll be a death theater to help legitimize the deal. Venezuelans will pay the check Maduro is ready to cash. A large sum of the national wealth for Venezuelan has already been transferred out of the country by Trump, allies, and Russia. And the opposition is apparently spreading this propaganda, you know, without proof it is technically propaganda. So I thought it was an interesting theory. It does go back to the whenever a cryptocurrency launches and then they do really, really good, and then we kind of hit into a bear market and they're like, oh no, we got hacked. I'm retiring. Bye. And then they just happen to have millions of dollars, even though they got hacked and like all the money was drained from the project. Cracks me up. Cracks me up. Bitcoin, $91,464.53. President Trump on Maduro. He has offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to F around with the United States. That is what Donald Trump said. Guys.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Donald Trump dropping the F-bomb will always tickle me, regardless of my feelings about him or any other politician. I do thoroughly enjoy the F word. Derek said I asked for MYX and never saw it. If that makes you feel better, Tishu. We want to look at MYX. Tishu won't tell me what he wants me to take a look at. We got $91,368.99. Oh, MYX. USDT mix. Mix finance. Why do I feel like I remember this? Whoa! Holy crap. This thing went from $4 to $6. That is a 50% pump. Ooh, look at that. Beautiful. Wow. Why did this do that? Apparently, this is just what this thing does. Holy crap. You know what I want to know? It goes a little baby one and then a big papa one, or technically a big mama one. Is this one about to be the big papa? And if so, how much bigger is it going to be? Is it going to do this? You know? Is that what we're in store for? Wouldn't that be crazy? Look at, you know what's even more crazy? They definitely inflated the supply, because look at the amount of volume here, and then less volume, but a bigger pump. I'm curious about that. Either they inflated the supply, or there was way, way less buying and selling happening. Imagine buying, dude, if you bought right before that big one, would be insane. Right before any of these big ones, to be completely honest. I will say we've definitely had some missed opportunities with stuff like that with JY's Adventure. I've been pointing out some bangers on Zora. And then the next day he comes in, he's like, dude, go look at this. And I look and it's up 400%. I will say, when it comes to that, because I take no personal responsibility for my own finances, it is JY's Adventure's fault for me missing out on that, for not peer pressuring me to buy some. Okay. Let's see. Tishu said he was right about something, though. As soon as STX held above 25 at pump gun. Oh, STX, okay. See, look at the volume on this one. Whew, that looks great. We got red dots galore. Nice cloud on the upper half of Market Cipher. Green, positive money flow. I do want to check their inflation rate, though. Oh. Here we go. JY's Adventure. He goes, what? I said, it's your fault that I missed out on those Zora pumps because you didn't peer pressure me enough into buying. All right, so we do have unlocks. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so this is why I think it took more volume to pump it that second time. Or why... Wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. That actually doesn't make any sense, because it should go down, shouldn't it? So the volume, it would take more volume. Whoa, I just blew my own mind. Okay, so this is the opposite of what I was thinking. It's actually even more impressive that it pumped this much because of the supply increasing and it being less volume. Interesting. So this literally just tells you that more people are holding. Less people are willing to sell their bags. Huh. That's very, very interesting. Or it could be locked up, but who knows. Okay, let's go back down to the 4 hour. And let's go take a look at STX. Binance, very nice. Got above, yeah, 25 was your, well, I mean 27-ish, whatever this trend line is. What is this, August 2021? I bet you it's August 2021. That seems to be the recurring date for all of these. Oh, August 2020. Ooh, even better. Okay, so you got somewhat of a legacy trend line here. Actually, I think I reset that because, yeah. So let's do that. That's our trend right there, which happens to perfectly align with 29-ish, somewhat. So you kind of plummeted as soon as you broke below 25 here, and it was trying to act as support this whole time. And every time you got below it, it got pretty ugly. So getting above 25 was a big deal. Nice psychological number as well. And then you probably had some kind of something here, which is why you got a small candle right there. But getting above 29.30 was the big one. You're above that right now, which is awesome. So next stop, possibly 36. It might get ugly around 32. We'll call it 32.5. But it's kind of a toss-up. Let's see, daily. Yeah, daily looks good. Looks like a nice reversal. Now, what you want to avoid, just because it sucks when this happens, is you want to avoid this, where it does that, and then it does a little bit worse, and then it gets way better. You don't want to do that, because nobody likes sitting through that. Maybe you already did that. Maybe this is that second move. That's actually, I like that. We'll go with that for now. So, getting above 36 is going to be your next hurdle. And then 40 is going to be a nice psychological level that you want to get above as well. You're at 30.42 right now, which looks awesome. Incredibly overbought on the 4-hour time frame. Positive money flow, red dot of the momentum wave. You could do with a cool off, but whenever I say that, that does not mean sell now and buy back in a day or two. That means it's possible for the price to chill for a minute. It's also entirely possible if we hit proper like 2021 or even 2017, like proper bull market alt season liquidity vibes, number go up nonstop. That is the thing. In the bull market, like I think I've been so desensitized by all of this like numbing, boring price action that I cannot like fathom number go up for a consecutive period of time. There was a time where everything went up double digits multiple days in a row, and the pullback could have been single digit for one day, and then you would continue going up double digits multiple days in a row on like a repeating basis for like months. That was a thing once upon a time. So our hope, our goal is to get back to that point. And that could happen. And unfortunately with that, that is why I personally am a big believer in majority of my holdings being in spot bags, because I can trade all day long, but if I'm being a little weenie and I'm like, oh, I don't know if it's going to go down today, so I'm not going to trade anything, and then it explodes like another 20, 30, 40%, I'm not missing out on substantial gains because I have my big fat spot bags. Joe Has Adventure said, nice move. It just might, heavy on the might, be the next SPX 6900. Philly said, why didn't Bitcoin dump after Trump bombed Venezuela? Because we like took the president. There's no war. We like have the entire country now. That is a great question though, Philly. I think that my tinfoil hat wants to come on, and I want to say the people that have been pumping and dumping and manipulating the price knew that Venezuela was going to be a nothing burger, and that we were going to like seize full control within like couple hours, within 12 hours. That's what my tinfoil brain wants to say. Joe Has Adventure said, because oil reserves from Venezuela is a good thing, Philly. I am in disbelief. The moves instantly get jeeted. Philly said, I know, but generally people dump their assets when any type of activity happens like this. The uncertainty came and went within 12 hours, Philly. There's no longer any uncertainty. There's no like, oh no, we might go to war with Venezuela. Venezuelans are celebrating, and their president is in the country about to be like prosecuted by the United States. Like he's in custody. So there's no uncertainty. There's no risk of war. That is what usually people don't like. Notice how the market kind of returned to normal after the whole Ukraine-Russia thing, because we knew that that was already happening now. So Billy said, "Yep, I read that. Jay was interesting. Can you look at LMI, Lockheed Martin Inu?" Yes, yes, I can. So yeah, STX looks good. Let's see if you can get back above 32.53. That's gonna be your next spot based on this previous support turned resistance. Bitcoin 91,209 and 28 cents. Lockheed Martin Inu, I'm assuming this is the one on ETH, 2 years, 2 months, and 15 days old. Okay. You got a big fat green candle down there. It's up 32.68%. Okay. Switch back to price. Zoom out. Volume. Look at just, this is a great example. Insane volume. You got a couple of spikes, spike, spike, spike. Insane volume. Spike, spike, spike. Nothing. For basically the past, honestly, since like 2025, since the beginning of 2025. The entirety of 2025, there was zero volume for pretty much everything. It's a good example. Let me get a zoom in on this guy. There's not really anything long term that I see that spooks me. It is overbought on the 4 hour, obviously, but it is a meme coin, so that kind of almost means nothing. You're going to have potential resistance. Probably, I'm going to go with 10, actually. 1/10 of a penny. For sure. It's going to be psychological. And then you got another one. I'm going to go with 7.5. That's going to be psychological as well. What just happened? There we go. Okay. So this is me being somewhat vague with this one because the price action is very uniform. And you're going to have support and resistance at almost every level with the amount of time and like moves that have transpired on this chart. But the big ones are going to be the psychological levels. You got a big fat dump and found support right here at 7.5. Same with this. Big fat dump, found support. Big fat dump, found support, support, support. 10 is going to be a huge one, or 1/10 of a cent. And then after that, I suppose you would also be looking at 2, which happens to be the top of your shoulders, if you were to call these head and shoulders. Price looks good. You're at 59.80 right now. Or don't forget you're overbought. Holder count. There you go. That's what you want to see. Liquidity. Liquidity looks great. They got a huge percentage of the supplies in liquidity. That's great. Wow. Not a lot of buyers and sellers. It is somewhat of a micro cap. If you are going to buy this, exercise caution. I'm not seeing anything that's jumping out at me as a red flag. Top holder, cannot rug. Yeah. They're active on Twitter. Definitely a possible play, for sure. All right, Bitcoin, 91,260 and 28 cents. Let's continue the news segment. Like I said, we got a lot of news to go over today. Venezuela, largest oil reserves in the world. Massive gold endowment. One of the largest iron ore deposits in Western Hemisphere. Significant whatever bauxite reserves is. Meaningful nickel and rare mineral potential. Enormous natural gas reserves. Read that again. That is a huge windfall for the United States. It's going to be interesting to see what the rest of the world superpowers do to react. Trending Bitcoin posted, if you bought $10 of Bitcoin daily for the last 10 years, you'd have $295 million today from just 36K invested. Let that sink in. That is huge, huge. That shows you the power of the DCA. It really does. Joe Adventure said, "Thanks for looking at it. Hey, you bought Monad because of me. You got some profit there. I do actually. I'm very grateful. So I appreciate that. There was the right amount of pressure with Monad. XRP flipped BNB to become the third largest cryptocurrency in the world by market cap. Let's see if it's maintained that, because I feel like it's done that a couple of times. It did. Okay, good for them. So they're at 123, 249, 818, and 74. Let's see if they can get back above Tether. They were above Tether at 1.2, I think. X increases creator payouts, allegedly. 17 years ago today, Satoshi Nakamoto officially launched Bitcoin. Happy birthday, Bitcoin. President Trump says the U.S. will use Venezuela's oil reserves and sell large amounts to other countries after capturing Nicolas Maduro. We are in the oil business. President Trump says U.S. oil companies will go into Venezuela, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. Very cool. Trump quote, "We will start the pumping in Venezuela. In terms of China and Russia that want oil, we are in the oil business. We will be selling oil in much larger doses. Much more oil will come." Venezuela and Bitcoin. This is a mouthful from Marty Party, so I apologize in advance. Venezuela has one of the highest cryptocurrency adoption rates in the world, driven by economic necessity, but its government has historically been ambivalent toward Bitcoin's legal, yet heavily regulated and sometimes restrictive. High grassroots adoption due to hyperinflation, over 229% in 2025, U.S. sanctions, and Bolivar collapse. Venezuelans widely use Bitcoin and stablecoins, especially USDT, for remittance, 9 to 10% of total inflows. Daily transactions, up to 10% of grocery payments by late 2025. Savings and peer-to-peer trading, 38% of transactions in 2025. Venezuela ranked 11th globally in crypto adoption per Chainalysis data. Legal status. Cryptocurrency is legal and regulated under framework from 2018 to 2020, overseen by SUNACRIP, though the agency was paralyzed since 2023. Bitcoin mining was legalized in 2020, but required use of state-controlled pool. The Maduro government later cracked down on mining in 2025 to conserve electricity. Government stance. The regime promoted its own failed state-backed petro, discontinued in 2024, while viewing decentralized crypto like Bitcoin as a tool for sanctions evasion, but also a threat to control. As of January 3rd, 2026, following U.S. military intervention and the capture of Nicolas Maduro, the situation is highly uncertain. A transitional administration influenced by the U.S. might reverse mining restrictions and adopt a more pro-crypto policy, aligning with U.S. interests in innovation. However, no new policies have been announced yet. Overall, Venezuela remains Bitcoin-friendly at the citizen level due to necessity, but official friendliness has been mixed and could shift positively post-regime change. I think that that's a huge testament to Bitcoin. The fact that it's become a true peer-to-peer payment system in Venezuela. What if I said JJ like the last episode of Stranger Things? I actually did. I did. And I think I've been so conditioned by shows like Game of Thrones or Lost ending in like the most obscure way that Stranger Things was like the nicest breath of fresh air. There's so many people that are freaking out about it. They're like, what about all these things? And they're like so many small, stupid, silly things, in my opinion. And there's arguments to be made for both sides. I like that they left it up for interpretation. I like that there was like somewhat of a happy ending for a lot of the characters. I enjoyed it. I really did. And the people that are like, oh, it's not realistic. None of it's realistic. It's a fantasy series. It's literally about like monsters and like alternative universes and stuff and wormholes. Relax. It's a television show. It's supposed to be nice. We're so used to like Hollywood now where they're like, at the end, everybody has to die and there's no such thing as a happy ending because everyone's got to be edgy, that when not everyone dies, people are like, this is not right. This is not normal. This is not good. And I feel the opposite. I enjoyed it. But I respect other people's opinions as well. Philadelphia will be sequel. Allegedly, they're working on a spin-off series. I'm kind of excited to see what they do with that. Set in the same universe, different characters, but I like them building on the universe. And there's apparently some animated thing coming out that's going to show like what the gang did in between the events of season 2 and season 3. Cheers, guys. Derek said, "Why am I getting we'll build a wall and make Mexico pay for it? Deja vu." I don't know, actually. That's a good question. That is a great question. Congratulations, Giovanni Fontes, once again on your victory. Enjoy your hoagie. All right. Bitcoin Wyckoff accumulation January 3rd. So he's moved this date to January 5th now. Like I said, he definitely keeps skewing it, but we're going to continue to follow it just because. Users on X report large increases in monetization payouts after Elon Musk raises payout rates to compete with YouTube. I'm curious to see where this goes, because my following on X is significantly larger than my following on YouTube. So we'll see, because right now the payout from X is tiny, or was. So we'll see if it actually changed. Just 5 hours ago, Chinese officials, this was 15 hours ago, arrived in Venezuela for talks with President Maduro. 4 hours later, the U.S. launched large airstrikes on Venezuela's capital in a major escalation. A statement from President Trump is expected. The last 12 hours have been absolutely insane. 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Chinese officials arrive in Venezuela to meet with President Maduro. 1:15 a.m. Unexpected airstrikes in Venezuela begin. 2:40 a.m. President Trump confirms he has ordered strikes. 4:20 a.m. Nice. President Trump says the U.S. has captured President Maduro and his wife. 7:25 a.m. President Maduro and his wife are indicted in Southern District of New York. President Maduro has now been charged and is on U.S. soil. This all started just 6 hours after markets closed for the week. Monday will be interesting to say the least. I'm kind of looking forward to it, I'm not going to lie. President Trump says U.S. forces experienced 0 deaths during the entire operation in Venezuela on Friday night. Trump says there were a few injuries. Who got injured? What? Maduro is currently being transported to New York for federal charges. President Trump says the U.S. is going to be very much involved in Venezuela's oil industry going forward. Trump says China is going to get oil. We are going to allow people to get oil. Billy said, "Fun fact, everyone. JJ buys his dinner, takes a photo of it before he eats it, then offers the photo out as the daily close price." I have done that on multiple occasions. That is true. Not even the market saw this coming. Exactly 12 hours ago, there was a mere 7% chance that President Maduro would be out of power by January 31st per Polymarket. By 2:10 a.m., as U.S. strikes escalated, odds surged to 67%. Then dropped to 37% at 4 a.m. 20 minutes later, President Trump said U.S. forces captured Maduro and he was being flown to New York, with odds surging to over 99%. Maduro will now be charged on U.S. soil. That's crazy. That was probably so much fun for people that actually bet on Polymarket. We gotta start playing around with that. I have a Calci account now, so we're gonna play around with it for sure. President Trump posts a photo of President Maduro in U.S. custody. That's crazy. He's got like some Nike fit on. People were posting the Nike fit. Joe Avenger said, "Yesterday my portfolio was doing good. Bitcoin pumping now and my portfolio not moving. LOL." Really? Dominance is trying to pump, so that might be why. Bitcoin 91, 167 and 42 cents. Congratulations, Giovanni Fontes, once again on your victory. Enjoy your hoagie. President Trump announces that the U.S. is going to run Venezuela until a safe, proper, and judicious transition can take place. President Trump says he's going to have large U.S. oil companies go into Venezuela after capturing Maduro. Trump also said we are going to allow people to get oil. All political and military figures in Venezuela should understand what happened to Maduro can happen to them, and it will happen to them if they aren't fair. This is crazy. What a crazy time, dude. In case you don't realize what just happened, Venezuela holds the largest oil reserves in the world at 300 billion barrels. The U.S. is now running Venezuela, with large U.S. oil companies moving in, according to Trump. The U.S. now controls the largest oil reserves in the world. That is insane. Just 12 hours later, the U.S. is now running Venezuela controlling the largest oil reserves in the world. Large U.S. oil companies are moving in, and production will exceed the 2010 highs of 3.1 million barrels per day. President Trump may soon get $2 per gallon gas price. Hell yeah. Jay West Venture said memes are getting a bounce. Little Popcat and Mog, maybe remove Giga from the portfolio you have for Mog instead. Maybe we should do a portfolio rebalancing. Somebody mentioned that a while ago, and I feel like it's something we should consider for sure. President Trump is asked if the U.S. could end up running Venezuela for years. His response: "It won't cost us anything because the money coming out of the ground is very substantial. The U.S. is about to make Venezuela one of the biggest oil producers in the world." They used to be, actually. I think I have something about that in here. This is absolutely insane. Venezuela currently has 303 barrels of crude oil reserves, which Trump says the U.S. now controls. Oil prices are trading at $57 a barrel, making Venezuela's total reserves worth $17.3 trillion. Even if the U.S. sells this oil for half of market rate, that's still $8.7 trillion. In other words, in 12 hours, the U.S. has gained control of oil reserves worth more than the entire GDP of all countries in the world, aside from the U.S. and China. That's 4 times larger than the GDP of Japan. Most people do not realize how much the world just changed. Oil markets will react to this news for the first time on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. The next few days will be critical. I've heard and read that the oil infrastructure or maybe not infrastructure, the oil companies in Canada are gonna get like screwed, completely wrecked because of this, because they sell, I think, most of their oil to the United States, and that's because the United States needs most of their oil, but now we don't. So Canada might be in trouble in terms of like leverage. I think they just lost all their leverage. So it's gonna be interesting. It kind of sucks thinking about it, like everyone's our enemy, and we're like, ooh, we have leverage over Canada now, so we can make them do stuff. Like, that's a really predatory way to think about it, but that's the president that we have right now. You know, he's very I don't know, we'll call it hands-on. Billy said, "I believe this to happen soon, not to get political, but there will be a bunch of non-Trumpers making signs to release Maduro and rioting in New York." Oh, 100%. 100%. I think it's going to happen with anything ever. You saw the Somali people had people in the background with signs. The freaking fraudsters, literally stealing billions of taxpayer dollars, had people protesting for them. That's insane. Shocking stat of the day. Venezuela's oil production is currently at just 30% of the level seen 15 years ago. We could easily see another 3 million barrels of oil hit the market per day. That's more than the daily consumption of all but 6 countries in the world. It's pretty impressive. This is what I was talking about. Their oil infrastructure has suffered immensely since the year 2000, essentially. It's just been plummeting, and it's gotten progressively worse in like the late 2020s or the early 2020s. JY's Venture said, "At least Trump is doing stuff. Biden didn't do anything his whole run." Yeah. I mean, yeah. I feel like you don't need to do stuff, but I don't know. Personally, it seems like Biden did the wrong things. And I'm not in support or against either of them. I think that the crypto market did a lot better under Biden, but I don't think that that has anything to do with who's in office. I think that that has to do with macro conditions, and I think that the current macro conditions may be partially Biden's fault. Trump definitely didn't help with tariffs, though. They all work together, dude. It's all one big sham. It's like a veil, you know, the illusion of choice. That's what it is. Stock guys are happy as well. Made most the crypto bros go to stocks. Yeah, that's probably, or prediction markets. Allegedly, that's where everyone went. I think Fahid was the one who first pointed that out, and that makes the most sense, honestly. Venezuela currently has 200 trillion cubic feet of natural gas reserves, 34th largest in the world, 300 billion barrels of crude oil reserves, largest in the world, 4 billion tons of iron ore reserves, worth nearly $600 billion, 8,000 plus tons of gold resources, the largest in Latin America, 500 plus million tons of coal reserves, 2% of the world's total renewable freshwater resources, really. Untapped strategic minerals, including nickel, copper, and phosphates. Venezuela is now a strategic U.S. asset. That's crazy. Saeed said, let's have a live trade after the candle gets closed. At least scalping can be done. See, that kind of, we tried to live trade a couple of times without actual like proper bull market momentum. I'm not really comfortable attempting the live trade unless I see a trade. If I see a trade, then if you guys want to do a live trade, we'll do a live trade. But for the most part, everything's pretty quiet, and it is the weekend as well. So it's not usually a good time to trade. But everything's stagnant after the close. Sometimes it isn't, but that's very, very rare. And we had a little bit of fun for a little while, and now everything's quiet again. Like 4-hour time frame. If we're gonna scalp, we gotta go like 15, and we get one fun little candle like that, and then everything just does this again. So we gotta figure out when that little fun candle is gonna pop up, which is incredibly, incredibly hard to do. But if the market starts to get better, then we'll do live trades and stuff. I think it'll be fun for sure. All right. Next, we've got tokenized stock market cap. Just hit a new all-time high at $1.2 billion. That's insane, actually. I wonder how big this is actually going to grow to. A whale withdrew 800 Bitcoin worth $70.9 million from Bitunix and now holds 1,000 Bitcoin accumulated over the past 6 days. That is a lot of Bitcoin. The Solana ETFs saw another week full of net inflows. I believe Solana and XRP ETFs are net positive since inception, which is pretty huge. Flows are slowing, holders are capitulating, and price compression screams bear market fatigue per Glassnode. That's exciting. Crypto added $100 billion in the market in the past 3 days. Crypto phishing losses, this is actually really, really good news, fell 83% in 2025, but wallet drainers aren't dead yet, as a malicious permit signature just cost a user 1.08 million in a ETH-L BTC. That's crazy. So be careful out there, guys. Usually I like to go over all of these that pop up as news as kind of a PSA. Be careful. You got to be really paranoid and quadruple check everything. Billy said, JJ, can you check this? What's the shelf life of oil once it's fully processed? Jesus, dude. Bitcoin did better under Biden because the dollar was garbage. I don't know if that's true. Let's go to, yeah, affiliate. The dollar has been dropping under Trump too. Bitcoin actually has done better. Bitcoin itself has done better under Trump. We know that for sure because it didn't hit 100K under Biden. I'm talking about like altcoins and crypto in general, and it's because of the manufacturing PMI index, the business cycle. Business cycle and the contraction of liquidity like suck the life out of the market. And that's not to say it's Trump's fault. It's definitely something that probably Trump's first term and Biden's term kind of both contributed to. And I don't know, Powell just took way too long to lower interest rates. And now everything's breaking, it seems. Derek said, I just followed your ex. Appreciate you, Derek. I posted some bangers last night, dude. I don't think anybody saw them. I posted them at the dumbest time. I was like up at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, man, this is great. This is good stuff. This whole explanation of PMI. So the ISM PMI measures the overall health of the manufacturing sector. It measures new orders, production, employment, supplier deliveries, and inventories. It peaks with the business cycle, so it is not the business cycle itself. It just is like 99% correlated to the business cycle. Above 50 shows expansion. Below 50 is contraction. We have been contracting since about 2022. And right now, Bitcoin like slowly grinded up which in my opinion is that reaching fair valuation part, because the ISM PMI has been slowly grinding sideways. Bitcoin like reached a new high and stuff like that, but there's no liquidity. We got to get above 50 and preferably 55, and then we can start talking about altcoin season and all that fun stuff. My only concern is the data measuring employment. 20% of this data for the ISM PMI is employment and manufacturing. And manufacturing, I feel, is probably the front line of AI and robotics replacing employees. So we got to be careful with that. It's definitely, that's why it's such a touchy situation with the Fed, I believe. Were you born in 88 or you just, so 8's my favorite number. And I have like OCD. I like things in pairs. I don't like individual things. I was born in 93. But 8's my favorite number, and 2 8s is preferred. My name's JJ, so 88. JJ8 sounds stupid. I don't know. There's no deep meaning behind it. It's just me being stupid. OCD and 8 being my favorite number. Plus, when you turn it sideways, it's infinity. Okay. Back to the news. What else did I post yesterday? Was there anything else that was good? Nah. Nope. Oh yeah, I did post this that we went over yesterday. And I still stand fully behind this. Little deductive reasoning as to why I think selling right now is silly. Let's say I have a $10,000 crypto portfolio. I can sell now. Crypto could go to zero, and then I would lose no money. Crypto moons, and I have to know for the rest of my life that I missed this opportunity, and I'll never be able to let that go. Let's say I have a $10,000 crypto portfolio, and I hold. If it goes to zero, I lose $10,000. If crypto moons, I make life-changing money and retire my friends and family for several generations into the future. One of these is a lot easier to cope with than the other. I could deal with losing $10,000 if it means I have an opportunity to make life-changing money. I cannot deal with having $10,000 and missing the opportunity to make life-changing money. Now, the way you avoid this portfolio going to zero, destroying your life, is don't invest more than you can afford to lose. It is an investment. It is not a gamble. It is not an income. It is not a job. Don't treat it like that. If you do not invest more than you can afford to lose, then you have no problem holding. But also diversify. You can own other assets besides cryptocurrency. Look at all the time that we've had to accumulate. You don't need to rush to build a portfolio that make 2x tomorrow and then you can retire. You don't need to do any of that. Just relax. It's going to be okay. Let's continue the news segment. There's way too much news. It's all good, though, in my opinion. 73% of 24-hour liquidations were from short positions. Shorts are getting absolutely decimated. Why did a bear market bottom signal with 100% hit rate just fire? Ladies and gentlemen, I think that means that we bottomed out. Are you mentally prepared? This one was just exciting to me. I don't know if this is actually going to play out, but imagine Bitcoin going to $1.1 million. Literally. Like, imagine we just bottomed at like 80 some K, and then it just only goes up from here to over $1 million. Wouldn't that be nuts? Bitcoin explodes when gold tops. This is a nice correlation piece. Gold profits entering. We got gold all-time high, and then it kind of chills out while Bitcoin goes on an absolute tear. Another gold all-time high at a Bitcoin like sideways bottom low situation. Gold sells off, cools off. Bitcoin explodes. Another gold all-time high. Is it going to do the sideways choppy downside thing while Bitcoin explodes to the upside? Maybe. Maybe it will. Bitcoin altcoins. After the last macro liquidity infliction, it took 47 weeks before Bitcoin truly turned. Meanwhile, its dominance declined. Markets can lag while rotation happens under the hood. Macro liquidity injection does not equal immediate upside. So we're already several weeks into this. Apparently they're calling for November 2026. Okay, so they're they're probably thinking 2027 then for a bull market peak. That'd be pretty crazy, wouldn't it? Tech stocks relative to M2 money supply, a dot-com bubble versus now. This is the dot-com bubble. This is now. The difference, I think, is during the dot-com bubble, it was all essentially the same. It was all the same tech in the year 2000. Now it's all different, and we use it every single day. Every single person is using it. So I'm personally not really worried about this. Tech stocks could soar 25% this year, according to Wedbush analyst Dan Ives. Dan Ives says tech stocks could rally up to 25% in 2026, but cautious that this is a prove it year for AI. I agree. Natural gas falls to its lowest closing price in September. Let's freaking go. My heat is natural gas, so I'm excited about that. Foreign central banks now own more gold than U.S. treasuries for the first time in almost 30 years. This one's kind of a crazy metric. What happened 30 years ago? That was right before, that was 3-4 years before the dot-com bubble. Interesting. Foreigners net bought more than $700 billion worth of U.S. stocks over the last 12 months, the largest inflow this century. 12-month moving total of net foreign purchasers equities. They like number go up. 9.3 million Americans work multiple jobs to make ends meet. This is the highest number ever recorded in percentage terms. 5.7% of employed Americans worked multiple jobs last month, the most this century. That's actually a crazy metric. I guess I would like to know how they actually measure that, because I have like one part-time, mostly full-time job, and then I do a bunch of side jobs randomly throughout the year to supplement my income. And I don't report to anybody, but I would be one of those people that they would consider having multiple jobs. I don't know, it's just interesting. I would like to know how they measure that. Next we've got U.S. could oversee more than 50% of the world's oil reserves if it can secure control over Venezuela's oil fields, according to Russian billionaire Oleg Deripaska. That's pretty crazy. A few days ago, Bitcoin's 10-day historical volatility hit 10%. The last two times that happened, January 2023, Bitcoin was $17,000. That was the bottom. And July 2020, Bitcoin was $9,000. That was also the bottom. So this metric hitting 10%, you got bottom, explosion. I guess it bottomed back here, actually. Why is the RSI overbought there? That's weird. Interesting. So you got a bottom here, price exploded, bottom here, price exploded, bottom here. Looks pretty good to me. Billy said KuCoin added some things. I'm not sure what this is, but it's new to me. Look at this pic in Discord. Counterparty. Best bid offer. Counterparty 1, counterparty 5. What is best bid offer? Choosing best bid offer lets you quickly set the best bid ask price for limit orders. For buy orders, counterparty 1 reflects the best ask, while Q1 reflects the best bid. For sell orders, counterparty 5 reflects the 5th best bid, while Q5 reflects the 5th best ask. So it sounds like you can just set limit orders, and it's like a quick select kind of thing. See the little yellow arrow, Philly? This little yellow arrow, I think, is pointing towards what I'm assuming what counterparty 1 would be. I could be wrong, but they explain in what order on the order book it is. It's kind of just like a quick select option, I think. So you can select the buy order based on that metric. Altcoins bottom 350 to 400 days after they top. It's been 385 days since altcoins topped in December of 2024. Even though it does not look like a bear market, looking at Bitcoin, the 2025 definitely was a bear market year for altcoins, and the bottom is very, very close. I could not agree more. We've got, this is a tectonic event Not because of Maduro, not even because of oil, because of what it signals. One, sovereign asset capture has gone overt. This is a direct seizure of $17 trillion in reserves, publicly declared, executed in 12 hours with zero institutional resistance. The dollar just got re-oiled. The petrodollar system was fraying. Saudi hedged east. BRICS pushed for multipolarity. Now the U.S. has just hardwired a fresh oil supply directly into its control structure. That's monetary fuel. Global resource baselines just reset. Venezuela's reserves dwarf most OPEC nations. Whoever controls that flow rate controls leverage over global energy pricing for a decade. This is a planetary pricing mechanism shift. The unipolar moment is back on steroids. This reverses years of narrative about declining U.S. reach. Trump remapped sovereignty in a single move. Every global actor is now recalibrating risk. 5. Bitcoin's narrative just matured. This is why uncensorable, unseizable, and non-sovereign matter. Fiat can reroute $17 trillion overnight with a single military op. Bitcoin remains the only asset immune to that logic. The macro board has tilted. Expect gold to spike short-term on imperial volatility, oil volatility to surge as supply chains reprice, and bullish Bitcoin. Most people are still asleep. They think this is a Trump story or a Venezuela story. It's a new Bretton Woods, masked as a headline. What just happened wasn't war, it was an audit, and the U.S. just claimed the balance sheet. That's pretty sick. Billy said, no, that yellow arrow is just one of my limit buys. Okay, then, yeah, I'm assuming that the description just tells you which one it is. It just seems like a quick select for your limit order, so you don't have to dick around with trying to figure out an exact level. So yeah, this was a great post. This post made me like ridiculously bullish because I was the point number 5, Bitcoin's narrative just matured. This is why uncensorable, unseizable, and non-sovereign matter. Fiat can reroute 17 trillion overnight with a single military op. Bitcoin remains the only asset immune to that logic. That is pretty crazy. U.S. inflation dropped further today from 1.93% to 1.81%, driven by the dropping prices of natural gas, which drove utilities down. Trueflation U.S. CPI 1.81%, Trueflation U.S. PCE 1.79%. Now, the Fed does not use Trueflation, but their inflation index is not usually far off from this, so they might be pretty damn close to 2%, which is their goal, which means they might cut in January, which is that bet that I want to take, but I'm still standoffish about it. Let me check it. I just want to check it really quick. Fed meeting decision. Oh, expired session. That's fine. Dang it. Right now it is 11%. Okay, so it's gone down even more. I think I'm gonna put like 40 or 50 bucks on the Fed cutting 25 basis points. I do. Derek said, I like the part where they say this was not a war, it was an audit. A lot of people seem to be confused about this right now. They do. They really do. And it's kind of crazy to witness. Like, I never would have expected something like this to happen, especially on a weekend. I do like that they wait for the weekend. That seems to be like the nicest. They're very considerate with their military operations. They give people a chance to like reposition for the market open and stuff. Everyone can chill and enjoy their weekend, and then get ready for Monday. You know, you don't like witness some catastrophic event and then go into your weekend. Derek said, "You ever read that?" Okay, congratulations, Giovanni, once again on your victory. Enjoy your hoagie. Portfolio update. The 1K to 10K Grok portfolio is currently down 498, 49.8%. Looking good. Best performer Solana is only down 20. Worst performer Aptos down 69. Nice. I can't believe Fetch is outperforming Aptos. That's crazy. Then we've got the meme coin portfolio, currently down 557, 55.7%. Best performer is Pepe, down 69. Worst performer, GigaChad, down 100 and 66. Then we've got the narrative portfolio. My favorite, and what was once the best performer. It might be in second place. Today it is down 188, 188, which is 37.6%. The narrative portfolio has officially reclaimed its #1 spot. Best performer is Pepe, down 11. Worst performer is Fetch, down 59. Then we got VeChain, Mana, and Tau. Pepe and Tau are about the same. Mana, VeChain, and Fetch are also about the same. And then we've got the perfect entry portfolio. Billy said the illegal war argument. Many high-profile Democrats, including AOC, Ro Khanna, and Chuck Schumer, have slammed the operation. Here we have go. I guess I don't really know what are the. It's goofy to me. I don't know. It's silly. It's silly. What's done is done. What are you gonna do about it? The perfect entry portfolio currently down 418, 41.8% in the red. Best performer Chainlink, down 12. Worst performer Avalanche, down 60. Now, Avalanche is a great asset, in my opinion. The issue here, which is ironic given the name of Perfect Entry Portfolio, we did buy the local top on Avalanche. I think Anthony Scaramucci was like talking about it, and we were like, oh my gosh, we got to load up. And the community voted, and we ended up on Avalanche. We put $100 in, and now it's down $60, which is kind of hilarious. But that's it, guys. That is it. I think we're going to build a new portfolio soon. Then we'll have 4 to go through, but I think it's time. Bitcoin looks great. $91,319.48. We are overbought on the 4-hour time frame. Go take a look at. Oh, I want to look at the fractal over here first, because this might be spot on. Look at this. If we go up from here, guys, I swear, man, I swear. If we do, also, Justin Makachek will be the winner of this bounce target. I guess I would count him and Tishu. Oops. Actually, I think Tishu might be closer. Yeah, because Justin technically would have went over with that wick. So Tishu, I think, would be the winner, with Justin as an honorable mention, maybe. I like that. Yeah, because Justin kind of got the candle body closes. Tishu got, like, the actual level, like 79, 80. So yeah, that's pretty sick. But we'll see what happens. We got 4 daily candles in a row so far that are green. It looks beautiful. This also goes back to our theory of we got the chop, dump. I don't know if I can do it with this. Pump, chop, dump, breakout, pump, chop, dump, breakout, pump, chop, dump, breakout. It doesn't really work that well with Bitcoin, but on total crypto market cap, it works great. And the bleed, literally, we went from 9 to 5 to 2. That's pretty cool. So each run got longer, and each dump got shorter. So technically speaking, this right here, I think, is a copy paste of this. So that should not play out that way if it's going to be this continued faster dumps and longer pumps. But it's possible that that pattern itself breaks, and we do actually get like some kind of weird in between. And maybe by June we're sitting at 4.69 trillion. That'd be pretty sick. That'd be so sick. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of lines on this chart. It's very messy, but when you boil it all down, we've been in a pretty consistent uptrend with pretty consistent downtrends, and there's a very clear pattern. Volume is consistently increasing over time. We just hit a low, and usually when we hit a low, we get a we get a nice little bounce increase off of that. So let's see what happens. I'm excited. I think we're going to 5 trillion for sure. And then total 3. Yeah, my 800 billion guess so far nailed it. We're back above our 2020. What was that? 2024. Yep, August 2024 trend line, which is a bit of a mess, but I'm okay leaving it. $800 billion bounce, broke above 857, broke above our trend line at about 852, 853, and we're currently sitting at 874.67. Can we get above 883 next? That's going to be a big one because we got this chop right here. That was kind of the resistance for this chop. Yeah, it's interesting how these repeat. Look at this. You got bounce, bounce, and then it gets smaller, and then it eventually dumps. You can literally copy paste that here. Bounce, bounce, and then this one pumped. So you cannot always base everything off of the previous face value pattern. I'm excited. I know I say that all the time, but I really am. It's finally 2026. 2025 is over, and we are ringing in the new year with some green. Bitcoin dominance getting a little tired. Bitcoin itself up 0.92% on the day, currently trading at 91,458 and 27 cents. I think that's it, guys. I think that is it. Doge is up 2%. I like looking at the ones that are pumpy. Arrow's up 2.45. Very nice. Stellar's up 1.4. Squeeze up 1%. Snack is up 2.13. Ooh, come on. Break out of this bad boy. Come on. You can do it. Oh, man. I'm so stoked. This is getting out of hand. I feel like I haven't been excited about the price action in so long. It feels good, dude. It feels so good. All right. Well, I suppose I'm going to call it an evening. Yeah. Hold on, I want to try something really quick. All right, ready? Do I sound any different? Do I sound any different to you guys? I don't know if that worked. I don't know if that worked the way that I wanted it to. We'll have to see. I'll have to see. Anyways, guys, as always, when Bitcoin starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you're new. Share the stream with your like-minded friends and family, or maybe to introduce them. Billy said it's better because you're closer to the mic. Oh, the audio? I was actually trying to change my voice. And if it didn't sound any different, if it was just better sounding, then that's not what I was trying to do. I'll have to figure out the voice modulator thing. But anyways, guys, this is where I'm going to love and leave you. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Saturday, and good night.